Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrina's Creations. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create 3D centerpieces using paper towel holders as stands. The materials that I'll be using is Koala double-sided photo matte paper size 11 by 17 because I have a wide format printer. If you don't have a wide format printer, you must use the size cardstock of your choice that is compatible with your printer. Also, any color cardstock, I got all these paper pads from Michaels. Also, glitter cardstock if you want to use, you can get it from any craft store. Paper towel holders from the Dollar Tree. I'm using my own brand of glue, and I'm using double-sided foam tape that I got from the Dollar Tree and also from Amazon. Okay, I'll be using Silhouette Studio Business Edition. It is a paid version of Silhouette Studio. It's a one-time payment, but you can also use a Basic Edition. Basic Edition is free. Another thing is you don't have to have a cutting machine to use this software. I'll leave all the links down below. Again, I'll be using Silhouette Studio Business Edition. The first thing you need to do is set up your paper size. Now, depending on the printer that you own, that's how big you're gonna make your characters. If you only have an 8 by 11 printer, you must put your media size to 8 by 11. So the first icon on your right, it looks like a piece of paper where it says media size, change that to 8 by 11. And so you know that your character should not be no bigger than this. Now, I have a wide format printer, so I know that I'm also going to be doing layers. So I know the largest cardstock that I have at the moment is 12 by 12. So all my layers have to stay no bigger than 12 by 12. So I'm actually going to change my media size to 12 by 12. So now my images can be no bigger than this. Now, if you own bigger cardstock, go ahead and put a bigger media size. Your next step is that you're going to go get your PNG images. PNG images mean that they are a transparent background image. So I got these images off of Etsy. Once you purchase, you download and extract. Once you download and extract, now you have it saved into your computer or laptop. You're going to go back into Silhouette. You're going to go to File, Merge, and bring in your images from there. Another way that you can bring in your images is if you go to your quick access folder and you go ahead and look for wherever you save your images at, and then you just drag them into Silhouette. So those are two different options. Once you have all your images that you're going to use, now it's time to start sizing your images. Now you're just gonna go ahead and grab one image. Now I'm gonna bring it right here. And now I want to create, my images are also going to be double-sided, and I'm going to create layers. How do you create layers is just by doing offsets, and that's going to give it that 3D effect. So I'm just going to click on my image. Now I do have Silhouette Business Edition version 4.4. If you have a prior version of Silhouette Business Edition or whatever, designer or basic, sometimes you have to trace your PNG. It's going to have like an automatic rectangle behind it, like an imaginary rectangle behind it. I don't have that because I do have the 4.4. So automatically when I bring in a PNG images is already traced around for me. And what I mean is, if I go to the send tab, like I'm ready to cut this out, you're going to see a red outline around my image. It's ready to cut around it. Now if you do have Silhouette prior to 4.4, you're going to see that's going to cut a rectangle behind it, and now you had to automatically trace this image. And how do you trace it? You're just going to go to your trace icon that's on your right. You're going to say select trace area. You're going to make a box around your image, wait till it turns yellow, and making sure that it's all traced around. And then you're gonna click where it says trace outer edge, or I'm sorry, trace and detach. That's why you had to click trace and detach. And then you was gonna have that image already traced. And then when you go back to send, then it was gonna have a red outline around it. I don't have to do that. Like I said, I have version 4.4. Okay, now like I said, I am doing a 3D effect. So I'm just gonna click on my image first. Then I'm going to go to my offset icon. It looks like a double star. I'm going to click on offset, and you're going to decide how far you want your offset to be. I like to stay around 50 to like 60. So I'm going to go down to 0.060. And I like how it looks. And then I'm just going to go to my paint filler icon that looks like a paint palette. And then I'm just going to go ahead and color that up. so you can see it here. I always recommend coloring your backgrounds or whatever color cardstock you're going to be cutting, so when you're ready to cut, you don't get confused on what color you need. So let's just say I wanted to cut that one out on red, and then while that one's selected, I'm going to click on offset again, and then go ahead and do the same distance. So 0.060, and then let's go ahead and color this one, let's say a blue. Now I'm going to select them both, go to my outline color and click on no color, so I don't have that color. Now I'm going to right click and group them really quick. Let me zoom out a little bit. Now I have all my offsets together with the image. Now you do not size your images by pulling through here. Let me undo. You don't size them pulling up here. You size them by pulling them from one of the corners. So I'm just going to keep on pulling, making sure that everything fits on that 12 by 12. You can also rotate your images to make sure that they're completely fitting in there. You're going to do the same thing if you only have an 8 by 11 printer. Okay, I know everything's going to fit there, so I'm going to hold my shift key and then I'm going to rotate this back to straight. Now keep in mind that I said that I want to have them double-sided. So while everything's grouped together, I'm going to right click and duplicate, and right click and flip horizontal. Now as you can see, this one's the one that's going to go in the back and this one's going to go in the front. Now I'm going to select them both, right click and ungroup. Especially if you're using glitter, do not forget to right click and flip horizontal. So this is going to be the front, and this is going to be the back. All right, so I color them knowing that I need this to cut them out of blue and this one out of red. Now you're going to repeat the same steps with all your characters that you want to do. Now let me show you something really quick. As you can see, he has a necklace on him. When you flip horizontal, you're going to see that his chain is going to read backwards. So making sure, let me flip him horizontal again. So what I did with him was I just traced his chain. Before you do anything with the chain, don't forget to make sure you size them. You need to make sure you size them to the size that you need it. Then you're going to right click and duplicate it. Now we are going to use this one. Let me zoom in. Go to your trace icon that looks like a little toast bread. Then click on select trace area. You're going to trace his necklace there. And then I'm going to click on trace and detach. Click on the dog that did again and then duplicate it. Send to the back and flip horizontally so I don't have that negative space behind it, and I could just easily put this one on top of here. And I'm actually gonna cut some of that off using the eraser tool, and let me zoom in. And make this. Okay, now I'm going to group him together. And now you have the one that's flipped horizontally and the one that it's the one from the back and the one from the front. And now you're gonna add your offsets, making sure that everything's always the same size. So if you're going to be sizing them, don't forget to size them always together. Put your offsets behind it and stuff like that. Once you are ready to cut, the first thing is that you need to cut is your offsets. So you're gonna just put these on your piece of you're gonna put these on your mat, rotate them, make sure that you rotate them so they could fit. You're going to go ahead and turn on your machine. You're gonna click on the send tab. And then you're gonna click on cut. And then I like to cut on blade of 6, 4s of 26 or 27. Speed of 6 and 2 passes because I'm using thicker cardstock. Once I cut that one out, then I finish cutting the rest. Now you are ready to do your print and cut, meaning that you want your machine to also cut your prints. So I am going to go ahead and change now my media size to custom. So I'm going to click on media size and I am going to type on my width 11 by 17 and enter, because that's the piece of the size of paper that I'm going to be using. If you're going to be using 8 by 11 cardstock, don't forget to put your media size to that size as well. Then I'm gonna go up here where and turn my registration marks on. I'm still on the page setup. My thickness, I have it all the way up here. And then I'm also going to turn on my print bleed. Now I'm going to add my images there. Then I'm going to go to my printer icon. Then I'm going to go to print. I'm going to select the printer that I have, equal tank 16600. Click on preferences. I'm going to print from my paper tray. Here my document size should also say 11 by 17. I'm going to select premium presentation paper matte, then on high, and then I'm going to click on OK. That's the settings that I like to print. Once it's printed, I'm going to load it to my mat and then load it to my machine and then send to cut. With the same settings, I'm going to be using the same settings that I use for my cardstock. Now, if you did anything like we did with the dog, then when you go ahead and send him to cut, it's gonna want to cut right here his tag as well, because we added a tag on him. So you're gonna just have to click on the dog and click on cut to edge, so it's not cutting inside of him there. And then you're gonna repeat the same steps, and then when you have everything cut, we're ready to assemble. I forgot the most important part before we got off. How to create the circle that's going to go on top to cover the bottom of the paper towel holder. Now let's go back and turn off the registration mark so you don't get confused. All I did was I came over here on my left, grabbed a circle shape. Then I'm gonna hold my shift key and then just pull it here on my screen. Just make any size as of now. I'm gonna color it black so you're able to see it. Now I'm going to give you the measurements that I use, but you can use any other measurements if you don't like what I use. Now while the circle selected, I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna go to my width and I'm going to type 6.18 and enter. And then on my height, I'm going to type 6.18 and enter. So that's the circle size that I use. Now I'm going to unselect that, come right back here to my left, grab a rectangle shape, make any size rectangle. I'm gonna color red so y'all can see it. Now the measurements that I use for this rectangle is I'm going to go to the width and I'm going to type 1.8 and enter. And then on my height, I typed 0.260 and enter. That's what I did. Then I'm going to put this right here. I'm gonna click here somewhere on my screen, drag my mouse to select them both. Then I'm gonna go over here where it says the transform panel, and I'm going to center it together, center them both together. Okay, so now they're centered and they're still both selected together. Now I'm going to go to my modify icon and click on subtract all. Then I'm just gonna move this rectangle to the side and delete, and now you have the circle. I'm gonna be cutting the circles out of the same color of the cardstock that I'm going to be doing for my third layer of the centerpiece, but you can cut these out of any color. All right, now let's get ready to assemble. All right, once you are done cutting all your pieces out, all you have to do is start gluing them together. One thing that I do is every time I'm doing anything with cardstock, I like to cut 2 pieces out of each pieces, just because I like more to be sturdy. I don't like my items to never be flimsy. So all my pieces, I cut them out 2 times. So my images, I cut an extra piece of cardstock to go in the back. The glitter cardstock that was going to go in the back, I cut 2 pieces, just one of solid color cardstock, one of glitter. Everything's 2 pieces, so it's going to be extra sturdy. You don't have to do that. You can just cut 1 piece of each, and that's it. After you glue all your pieces together, now you're going to adhere each layer with your double-sided foam tape. Now I like to just place them where they're gonna go and hold it with something heavy. As you can see, I'm using my Pepsi bottle, and then I'm just gonna place my 3D foam pieces where they go, and I'm using hot glue so it can adhere better to the glitter. Alright, I do want to say that this idea from the paper towel holder, using them as stands for centerpieces, I got them from a TikToker. Her name is Creations by Gabby. Jackie has sent me her video and I love that idea. I'm like, oh, I want to try that out. So again, I'll leave her link down below. Her name is Creations by Gabby from TikTok. Alright guys, here's the final result. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry for the orientation of the video. I was not planning on recording this, but everyone started asking. So this is the video that I actually posted all around my social media when I finished this order. If you did like this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Also comment down below any other videos you would like to see from me. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell to get notified every time I upload new videos. Go ahead and join my Facebook crafting group. It's called Andrina's Creations Crafting Lounge. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all my social medias. Also, it's called Andrina's Creations LLC. If you would like to order anything from me, feel free to email me at andrinaskreations@yahoo.com. All right, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video, like I said, and I'll talk to you guys later. I hope everyone's having a blessed day. Bye-bye, guys.